have to make as people, as individuals. If you want to be great at something, you have to make inherent sacrifices that come along with that. Family time, hanging out with your friends. So at the age of 18, I knew that I was not going to be stopped. This was my life. We all can be masters at our craft, but you have to make sacrifices that come along with making that decision. And I think once you have the passion, the thing that you're passionate about now, you can look at other people or other entities or other things or works of art, and you can draw things from that to help you be better at what you do by looking for those common denominators. Johnny wanted to know, how do I prepare? How do I prepare? How do I study? How do I view the game? How do you build your game? And my response is much like the way he builds products. You think sequentially. Yeah, you look at this, the end result of what you want to create, but in order to create that, there's so many other little things that go into this massive entity or device. And it's no different than building my basketball game. You start with, what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there. And you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time. So there's a lot of similarities there.
You've got this business.
It's your story.
And you've kind of made a career out of making and taking big shots and developed a reputation to do that. But what is it about just the last few seconds of a game on the line that just kind of brings the best out of you?
Well, you just gotta have the fearlessness to really take those shots. Because you miss those shots, then you have to deal with the criticism. You have to deal with
us talking about it, right?
Right. So and a lot of times, a lot of people kind of get a little apprehensive about taking those shots because of that.
Right when we mentioned it, seemed like you started smiling already just thinking about the word.
Yeah. Well, it's always been a myth to me as to why certain people don't really like those situations because of the pressure. Because we've all lost games before. So it's not like by you missing that shot, you're about to face something that you will never face again or haven't faced in the past. You know what I mean? We've all come up short at one time or another. So you just gotta kind of let it all hang out and trust your skills and trust the work that you've put in.
So what does that mean? So that means taking things, using things in your life that are scars, using those moments as a weapon, right? Using those as using basketball as kind of like a vehicle through which to express yourself, right? So at that moment, for us to face the Celtics again, it's not about the Celtics. It's not about your opponent. It's about you. It's about you taking your inner struggles and channeling that through the game, right? As a way to unleash, right? So now it became a matter of, how do I express that to them? How do I get them to that point where they figure this out for themselves? Because I can't say, hey, listen, I need you to play harder.
So what'd you do?
Well, I had to share my story. I had to open up to them and let them know I've dealt with things. This is the things that I use. This is how I go about focus. This is how I deal with adversity. This is how I deal with, arguing with my wife the day of a game and showing up to the game and still having that focus to be able to play. Like, I used those things to open up with them. And then in turn, they were able to take those stories and make them their own. Well, you just got to put one foot in front of the other. And, sometimes I think, even for myself, it's easy to become distracted a little bit and start trying to look at what the final picture is going to look like. And, when you do that, you can easily become frustrated with where you are at the moment. So, my advice is just to focus on each day. And, you have a plan in place of how you want to improve and how you want to get better. And you stick to that plan and trust the fact that, every day that you, stick to the plan, it'll get you to your end result.